I've been involved in music since I was a child, taking every opportunity to participate in plays, ensembles, even touring Europe in a children's repertory group. I was always drawn to the idea of working together in a group to create and perform something that was both familiar and yet different every time. I was the student conductor and did some composing for my high school vocal ensemble, and my choir director suggested I would enjoy a career in music education. And while I was skeptical at the time, I probably should have known he was right. I mean, look at this guy. Look at that tie. That's a music educator in the making. While my mom would say my first inspiration for a career in music was playing Tevye in Fiddler on the Roof in 6th grade, she brings it up at every opportunity, it actually came much earlier. When I was 8, I took piano lessons at a local music store, but when my piano teacher had me learning Twinkle Twinkle Little Star for 2 months, insisting I had to master the basics before moving on, I retorted by telling her I could play it with my feet. And when I made the attempt, we got in a bit of a fight, and I quit piano lessons. I did play it correctly with my feet, by the way. From then on, I learned what I could on my own and from my dad, choosing my own pieces of music and asking him questions when I was confronted with something I didn't know. I took ownership of my own musical education and progressed farther and faster because I was doing what I enjoyed on my own terms. This idea was reinforced by my tenure in my college a cappella group Soundcheck, in which we planned our own rehearsals, wrote our own arrangements, and delved into the meaning and subtext of our pieces so as to not only create a meaningful performance, but also reflect our identity as a group. These experiences have informed my teaching philosophy to take students seriously, focusing on their goals, their needs, and their opinions so I can be a guiding resource in their music education. I always ask students why they're in music and what they want to learn from their experience. And I have found that students, rarely being asked these questions, perform exceptionally well when they are given the chance to influence and direct their own educational experience. I encourage students to choose their own pieces and extract musical elements for us to study together from whatever they bring, allowing them to make music theory and aural skills associations with pieces meaningful to them, which has had an incredible impact on retention and critical thinking skills. When students request pieces, be they classical, musical theater, or different popular genres, I ask them to research the history and context of the piece, the musical elements that inform the composer's subtext, and break down the lyrics to derive the overall story they're trying to tell with it, and work with them on how they want to tell it as an artist and musician. I also encourage my students to research an artist's influences, broadening their horizons and introducing them to music which they may not have otherwise discovered. Though I will admit I do sometimes have to change lyrics to keep student and parent choices appropriate.
Here we are now, entertainers. I'm a ladder, and a fighter. I'm a leader, I'm a leader. Yeah.
As a music educator, I believe that a student-centric educational environment allows for students to invest fully in content about which they are passionate, facilitating their ownership of their own growth and education. I will ensure that my students are given the tools to research, think critically, and make informed decisions, allowing them to be actively involved in creating more than just notes on a page, but a new musical experience that can express them as artists and individuals.